idiot. I had to click go live. I'm like, it's sitting here streaming. What am I doing? Oh yeah, you need to click go live. All right. So now I can see chat. Hopefully whoever's here is still here. So before we go over to audio, I wanted to talk about some stuff. So first on the study site, what I'm going to be changing. Okay, I'm just making sure we are in fact live. So what I'm going to do is instead of all these now, you know, I'm going to just back it all off basically. And we're going to focus really on here. Because there's almost no point down in here especially. I'll show you what the audio looks like with the road being right here. It's pretty terrible with how loud it gets. You almost can't even hear at times because it's just so loud. It'd be like me getting up to the mic like that and just playing car sounds. But they're just so sensitive, these mics are, because they're for the two things we mainly use them for are bats and birds. So, you know, especially with bats, they have to be super super sensitive. But one of the things I wanted to show on here on Google Maps is, so I drew a polygon so you can draw, you know, it's basically just a shape around where I live. This is all nothing. That's just right here. That's almost 1,000 acres of nothing in southwestern PA. And I mean, there's even more around us. Like, I mean, when you start zooming out, like, there's just so much around us that just has nothing. And you can see there's like a 2007 sightings. There's a bunch of stuff up north of us. So it's got a history around here. Something else I want to talk about too before we really jump into things. I went on the National Park Service, if I can find the actual coyote one, and I got, because I'm going to start getting basically reference sounds. There's just, so this is how many of those fake. Okay, so this is how many fake coyote calls I had in that 1 hour, which we're going to listen to that hour here in a minute. But this is what an actual coyote yell looks like on the spectrogram. And I got this from the National Park Service. So you can see it kind of has a little bit of a wiggle here, but then really the rest of it, it kind of just slowly curves up, but then it slowly curves down. And it does that pretty much 3 times. There's a little bit of like an extra sound here that kind of wiggles, but really for the most part it does this. Whereas everything I'm catching, this is the crazy one where it had like the voice in front of it. But you can see this doesn't even do that. None of these even look like a coyote call. Like they don't have the same profile to them. Like none of these look like they'd be the same animal. That's what I find fascinating when you start getting into this stuff, because it's like, well, that can't, if this is a coyote, this can't be. Like, yeah, I could see it deviating a little bit, but this isn't even the same at all. None of these are. Like, you go through them, and it gets, the crazier it gets, the later in the night you got. I mean, just none of these even look like a coyote call. So I'm going to start doing that for a bunch of animals. I'll get bear ones too, like black bears. We'll have a whole bunch of like reference things that I'll put in the folder too. I'll make sure that I zip these up once I have them, and I'll put them in that folder, so that way when people download those 4 days of audio, they'll have reference sounds that they can go through and compare themselves. And then, you know, it gets to like the big guy himself. I mean, this isn't even remotely the same. But I wanted to show that, you know, from the get-go. And then I'm going to show you too how I actually do this stuff for the audio. So we'll close that. We'll bring up Unit A. I'm going to drag that over to my other screen. We're going to get Audacity open, and then I'm going to show you how to actually clean up audio. So we want location 6, 610, and then it was 21. It's this one. So, and of course too, if you have any like questions or anything, feel free to ask them. So first we got to clean this up because it's going to have a lot of background noise. So what you want to do, you want to find a spot like this where it's just background noise, and you're gonna go here. You're gonna highlight it, and then you're gonna hit Effect, Noise Removal and Repair. You're gonna hit Noise Reduction. And this first time we're gonna do it, we're gonna click Get Noise Profile. So what that did was that basically picked what you want to remove from all this. So now we just hit Control A because that'll select all of it. And then we hit the same thing. We come down here, Noise Removal and Repair, Noise Reduction, but this time you can mess with these sliders too as you want. I just basically kept them where they were, and it'll let you preview it too. But now we hit OK, and it's going to go through, and it's going to do this for the whole recording. It'll take out background noise. It's not going to make it perfect, but it makes it a whole hell of a lot better than what it was to start with. And then we can start going through and listening to some of this stuff. So what's interesting too is I've been going through on all these alcohols that are on here. And I know you can't see me because my webcam's not working right now. But I did the quotation thing for alcohol. And none of them are coming up in Merlin. Like Merlin's not saying that it's an alcohol. So I'm just going to start playing some of this. We're going to jack this up. That's actually, so this is traffic. But you can see when I'm talking about how everything has a pattern to it. So you see the traffic's not horrendous. I want to show you traffic first. So it can get bad, like in here. Like you'll hear it'll get, this is a jet, because we do live by a flight path. So this is what a jet looks like. Traffic will be up a little bit higher. So like I would expect this to be traffic. There's dogs barking, but see, you can hear. Now, what I was starting to say before is with traffic and it being, that close to the road from before. So I'm just going to bring up this. This is from March, what's the date? March 4th. So look at this. This is why I said it's not even really usable. Now look at the difference in the traffic here and there. Like, I'm not gonna play this because it'll blow people's eardrums out, but you can see like this gets horrendous. Like, look at that. And mind you, that's still, well, let's see. So that is still, gonna hit clear. I actually know what tree it's on too, because there's the house. It's like right here. So that's still like 100 feet from the road at best. Here, we'll do this line. So yeah, that's still about 100 feet from the road. Which it sounds like you're right up against the road. But I want to point this stuff out because I know I've been like trying to get more and more people, to start using these song meters. Just be aware of wherever you put them. They're super sensitive. Now I have mine boosted. I just grabbed my phone. I have it because you can tell it to boost the audio too. So think about that too. Like, this stuff's already boosted when I record it. So my configuration, because you can make your own configurations. So the gain I have of 18 decibels. You can have it set on like a delay start. We'll go over this at some point too, like how to do these. how to do these actual configurations for the song meter. But I mean, this just gets too much. And then let me see, one of them I know. You know what, new folder, because I'm going back through and going over these notes, and I'm like, it went from 5 pages down to just this, because I'm like, yeah, that's not there. And that was another point I wanted to bring up about audio too, to why it's good to go back through your old stuff. I think that might have been. I'm trying to find one where it says like that it's unusable due to wind, because I know that it's here. And then I'll bring that file up too and show you, because I know people were asking if it was really windy where these recorders were. And I'll show you what wind looks like when it's bad. Just ignore these notes because they're not right. I think sometimes when you first start, you get a little over exuberant. So that one had rain on it. And, you know, people just assume, oh, this is that. And I'm like, well, now I can go back and I can go, well, that's not a tree knock. I know what a tree knock sounds like. We've definitely caught, yeah, okay. So here. So that was 2000. So this is unusable due to wind. I'm not going to play this because it's pretty horrendous. But see, this is what wind looks like on your spectrogram. Like when it gets real bad, like these. And then we're not going to actually, but see what I mean? Like you can tell that's wind. Now I'm going to stop it before it gets up to here, but it just gets to the point where you can't hear anything here. So that's why I just put that it's unusable due to wind, because you can only get like little tidbits here and there. And at that point, it's almost not worth it to try to go through this, because even in these valleys, look at how much wind is still there. It's really not until the end of it that it completely calms down. But I know somebody asked about that, why it sounded like it's wind, and it's not really wind. It's the background noise. You know, that you hear, you're going to get that on any recorder. It's just straight up background noise. But, yeah, I mean, that's really the stuff I wanted to point out before we really got going. I'm not even sure if there's even anybody here now. So let me do this. View your channel. Finally fixed OBS. We're good. All right. So now I'm just going to get into core this, because you can always watch this later too. It'll be up. All right. So really what I wanted to do is Unit A. Location, this is what? This was 6. So 610. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go through this and I'll show you actually how I do the audio side of things. So we already cleaned it up, so that part's done. But I'm going to come back here. I'm just going to grab one of these just to copy it. Go back to Unit A. Since we're going to do this, we're going to hit paste. I'm going to make a new one. Notes. Bring these all back out here. We're going to start obviously with this 10 o'clock one because it's the most interesting. So far anyhow. We're going to rename that to the same file. So 21, we're doing this one. So we named our ODT, that's Open Office, by the way. I try to use everything free. That way anybody can just do exactly what I'm doing. We're going to put this in notes. Then we're going to open it up. We're going to change this, because that's the file name. And we're going to hit 10 p.m. to to 11 p.m. Eastern, 6:10, and then you just come back here, go all the way back to the beginning. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Oh, that's right, because I hit mute when we were playing the other one. And then we're just gonna let this play, and as we hear anything, we'll come up here and we'll note it, and I'll show you how I do that. And hopefully this is picking up okay. Hopefully, anyhow. And what I do when it gets up to here, I just click over here, hit spacebar, it'll stop, and then just pick it back up because I'm not listening to that. That's too harsh on your hearing. And it's funny too because you'll start to pick up on what bird calls are what once you do this enough, and you'll be able to look at the bottom part too and go, oh well, there's going to be a plane coming up and things like that. And wood knocks you'll be able to start to be able to tell too because they're more vertical than anything. And I've gone through, and these are all actual bird songs obviously, but if there's anything that sounds weird, what I do is since I've got my headphones on right now, I've got a Blue Yeti mic, I'll turn the mic up real loud, and I just set the headphones on my desk, and I just put the phone inside of them basically with Merlin running, and that always works just fine when I have an actual recording of birds and I want to double check something. So when you're doing that and it says like listing the bird and it doesn't ID it, or you can see like, because he used the spectrogram too. So when you see the spectrogram on Merlin pop up and it's recording the sound that you're playing and it doesn't recognize anything, then you know that there's something weird going on. Pretty sure that's a dog barking. It just sounds weird. Again, we're gonna skip the car stuff. And then this is basically just what I do. I just sit here and I listen. It does work best though if you're doing this. I mean, you have to have headphones. And what I like about the Yeti is it's got an actual, you can control the gain for your headphones, so it makes it even better to listen to stuff because you can crank it up in here, then crank up your headphones. Yeah, I've noticed things that snap. When you get like a twig snapping, it tends to be up here. Wood knocks will kind of look like this, but they'll be down here. It's a wood thrush. As it goes on through this recording, we'll slowly start to pick up, because this is the crazy hour, or the golden hour as I'm calling it now. And if you want to zoom in like this, you just use the scroll button on your mouse and you hold it in control while you're doing it, and it'll let you zoom in and out. And then over here your hertz, so if you want to know how high or low something is. And I don't know if it's on this one or another one, but I did catch the actual donkey because I've been wondering what it looked like on the spectrogram too, and it's pretty blatant. It's a donkey. So remember, just add this on the 10 o'clock, and that's what time it was at night. But I figured I'd do this and show you guys how I do it in real time. And then if anyone has any questions, like not just audio, but any questions about what I'm doing, I'm more than happy to answer them. Now, I'm pretty sure the dogs that we're hearing, because that recorder's up here. Now, they have dogs, and they have dogs. Actually, I think all three of these houses might. I can't remember if they do or not. These two for sure do. And they have where is it? Yeah, it's this house. They have a little yappy dog. And if we end up hearing any geese, it's actually picking up. So when it picks those geese up, it's all the way up here, you know, in these positions. So it's picking up geese that are, what, over 2,000. Here, let's go yards. Almost better part of 700 and some yards away. It's picking those up because this is the pond that they're all at. Oh, one more thing, then we'll get this going again. The donkey, I don't know where at on their property, but it's somewhere over in here because it's them that has the donkey. So it's picking up, you know, again, 700 and some yards away. But we'll keep that in mind as we go. But that's where the stuff is. Same with the cows are over by the donkeys too. So this thing's got reach. No, none of the owls in this recording that we're going to hear are real either, because I ran those through Merlin. None of them came up. Let's get past this. This probably would knock, yeah. So we got a wood knock here. What I do is I click here and it tells you selection down here. So 6 minutes and 18 seconds. So then we just go 6 minutes, 18 seconds, wood knock. And then the reason I do this is because then anybody that would grab the notes, they'll be able to see where to go for everything to find it. Because what you can do is you can come over here and I can hit like 5:14. Here, 5. Should be kicking me back. Yeah, I don't know. Normally you can type it in down here though, and it'll jump to where you want to go. But you get the idea. That way somebody can just go in and go right to what I thought I heard. And if it's anything interesting, I highlight it in red. Like I make the text red. Oh, that was a crunch. And then you can see that obviously that there's a plane going overhead. So there's a wood knock. So we just do the same thing, 7:25, 7 minutes, 25 seconds, wood knock. I'm gonna put this wood knock while plane goes by. Sounds like there's another one here too. So we'll just put 7:30. I'm really looking to see if there's anything else that looks like a wood knock. And now we got traffic. There we go. No, that was a tree knock. Look at that. That almost sounds like something smacking a recorder though. So that's actually what I'm going to note that as. So 9 minutes and 22 seconds. Recorder is smacked. I mean, that's pretty. If it's not the recorder, it's like right next to it because that's really loud and close for it to be that intense. See, there's a distant wood knock here. I don't know if you can hear that. Still gonna note it. So 9 minutes and 38 seconds. We're just gonna put distant low. Normally I just do this like WK. I meant to do that instead of having to type this out every time. Which is quicker. Especially if you end up getting a lot of wood knocks. You don't want to keep sitting there retyping or copying and pasting wood knock every time. See, 10 minutes in, things are starting to calm down, like as far as like the normal background noise is going. And then, well, you can hear my neighbor with, I don't know if this is a chainsaw, a leaf blower, or like some kind of a leaf blower type thing, or what the hell he's doing. I think it's a chainsaw. Because he was cutting down stuff he shouldn't have been. See, it's really starting to get quiet now. And then business is going to start to pick up. But no, it does start to pick up. And then it just keeps going crazier and crazier through the night. But then it kind of like starts to slow down too. I think it was around 3. Like it really drops off. Might be something here. Nope. There actually might have been something. Because I was getting those another night. It was like these low, they're almost wood knocks, but they sounded hollow and they weren't very loud. Until eventually you get crazy power knocks that night. I know I'm getting quiet at times, but I'm listening to, and then I'll point stuff out. That might be a wood knock. It's like a rock clack. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's not loud. See, I'm not sure on these ones if they're rock clacks or if they're wood knocks, but it's something smacking something else, and I get them periodically. So we're just going to put 1306 minutes, 6 seconds, WK slash rock clack. I'm not really sure. It could go either way. It's so in the distance. I think there was another one there, but I'm not sure. I'm really waiting on these just wait till the quote unquote coyote calls start, because there's owl calls between them too. I say quote unquote because they're not coming up in Merlin as a real bird. But yeah, you can see like how much that background noise was really cut down by what we did to begin with. And like I said, this will be up to watch later too. So if you want to see how I cleaned the audio up first and set everything up to go, that'll be there. I can't remember how far in everything starts happening though. Because it has like really got quiet now. See, some of these look like and sound like they could be distant taps or knocks, but to me they're not good enough to note. Oh, there's something maybe. That could just be a goose or a dog. But you'll start to notice patterns the more you do this too, so you'll be able to see like things like that, you know, where it's just something a little bit different that maybe not a lot of people will catch, but you'll see it and it's like, oh, well, look, that pattern broke. Like that'll probably be a snap. Yeah. I mean, you can see we're 15 minutes in. There's almost anything that we got. And that's how this goes most times. I don't know what this is. I've got these before. I'm just going to note it. I just put vocalization for these, so 1550, because it doesn't mean that it's anything weird. It's just, it's a vocalization, and I don't know what it is. It's probably something normal. Could be something weird, but I don't know that. That sounds like a dog. And it's funny because if I remember correctly, it's more the second half of this one. That's the crazy part. I think that might have been a distant knock. Right here. It's real low though. And like I said, I've got an audio control on my headphones, so I can probably hear things a little bit better than you. So if you download these, use headphones that you can make louder. I'm just doing this so I can see what's up ahead. So when we get up here, I'm gonna do that because that's traffic. It'll get real annoying. This is where it's gonna get real bad. So I just skip over that because it can get loud enough that it hurts your ears. And then if you get a real thick line down here, it can either be a train that's miles away or it can be a plane overhead. I'm trying to do stuff like this because I don't think anybody else is really showing you. I think there's something in here, but it's... I don't know that I'd be able to pull that out. I don't think anybody else is doing this, like going over their stuff in real time or showing how they do it. And showing that, yeah, while there's some cool stuff we catch, a lot of it's like this. But I do know this recording has stuff in it. Maybe it doesn't start till that weird no 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 thing, because that's around, if I got the right recording. Oh wait, we got something here. Now see, that looks more like that actual coyote recording that I showed earlier. See how it goes like the little wiggle thing and then it kind of curves down? Now what you're going to hear coming up doesn't even look the same on the spectrogram to this or the actual one I played from National Park Service. And there's like 9 of them, I think, before it gets to the what I'm calling the big guy now. Here, just so in case anybody missed it. Let me do this. Then we'll go at downloads. Bring this to my second monitor. So we are at 1914. So this part, because the rest of it's going to be like multiple coyotes. This is what an actual coyote call looks like. So you can see what I mean. Like it's got a little bit of this, like it hooks up and then kind of over and then it drops. But then the rest of it's pretty much like a steady straight line into a curve. So that's what we should be getting for a coyote. Let me come back up. This is the timeline. That's why I'm skipping that far. So we were like 1914. So we were like right in here. So keep that in mind, that as we come across stuff, that's what a coyote should look like. Not what we're going to be seeing. Oh no, you know what? We were at 20 minutes. That's okay. So we were up here. So that one's not very visible, but these next ones will be. And it'll start getting weirder and weirder and weirder. Like they start looking crazier and crazier on the spectrogram. Like that one looked pretty normal. But then see, that didn't even do a full howl. And it kind of had the thing to it. I could have marked those first 2 down, but I forgot. I'm going to go back through this later anyhow. I know there's more of them coming up because it just steadily picks up and picks up. So I think that's the neighbor's dog across the road, like I said. But it was crazy when I drew that polygon that I showed before I started on Google Maps. There's like 1,000 acres pretty much around here of just nothing. So when people are like, "Where? How could they be there? Where could they hide?" Oh, there's 1,000 acres. I don't think people understand how big that is. Let's see. So that's around a mile and a half squared. Is how many acres that comes out to be. That's just empty right next to me. So it's a mile and a half square, pretty much, of just nothing. So there, I could go back there and hide. I mean, 1,000 acres right next to your house that has nothing on it. That's not even all of it. That's just directly next to my house. I mean, we saw on Google Maps just how much more there's empty. And it also brings up a challenge for this side because it's like there's just so many. There's just so many areas that I'd like to have recorders in, but it's like, one, I have to get there initially to put them up, and then two, I'd have to basically use GPS to mark where everything's at, and then who knows how long it'd take to get to them. So there's where we start to get into the crazy stuff. I don't know if you heard it. We'll do this. But this was before the one that I posted where I said it changed everything. I didn't realize that there was more of it earlier in the night. And then it goes, there's a couple more things. Right there. And then we'll get into the. And there's actually a wood knock here too. I don't know if you heard it on the other one. It's right here. And I think there's another wood knock or something right here too. There's a wood knock here. we'll go through some of this, and I'll play. I'll play some of the stuff from another night too, the week before. Did you hear that? So it almost sounds like a kid's voice at times, like in here. Oh, oh. Like it's areas like this that it's like I don't even know what to even say about this. We'll do that. And it like goes all the way up to here. It's like just chatter. Oh, no, we're gonna pause that a second. Get past all this. That's why I said I think there's multiples. There's another wood knock. 2602. I'll have to add that other stuff later. 2 seconds. Wood knock. There. Okay, so we got 2605, 2606. Then I'm just gonna leave some space there so I know I got to go through that section. Now I did figure out what some of the vocalizations I was catching were. It's bullfrogs. It's American bullfrogs. Because I forgot they can travel up to a quarter of a mile away. Their sound can. But did you hear this? This is definitely not a fox. Because you'll hear multiple things in a wood knock. It's like, huh? And then it does 2 more vocalizations, then you get a wood knock. That's why I honestly think it's a juvenile. Another wood knock. It's either another. Some of it kind of does sound like a monkey too. Another wood knock. Did you hear that? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this. We're just going to skip forward to some of these coyote things. And then We'll jump to the night that I haven't shown yet on the channel. Zoom out a little bit. I don't know what this is either. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what animal this is too. I don't know if that's a raccoon, if that's a fox. I've been trying to figure out if this is a wood knock or if it's that traffic going by. Because that's pretty deep. Yeah. Seeing it sucks because it looks like there was more audio there. But this is all kind of garbage because that car, truck, dirt bike, whatever's going by. I guess it's a jet. Thankfully, that doesn't happen all the time. Where are these coyote calls? Where do they start? There's one. There's one right there. Then we got that. We got those. Well, here we go. There's a quote-unquote coyote. I mean, someone said it best. I think it was on Reddit that it almost sounds like an elk, and it does. It kind of does. See, and then this one has this before it. It's like a wah-ha. But then it does it. See, and this is that part where it's like, wow, 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 wow. Now that little vibrato part, there's one later in here that I actually caught, and it's a lot clearer. I mean, these definitely aren't coyotes. You can hear that deep voice making different noises in between these coyote calls. Couple whistles. You see me skip forward, it's because I can see stuff that, and like I said, we'll check out that other night too. See, there's this weird like chattering in here. Right here. You hear like an owl at the beginning. And then it does that weird like chattering. Yet again, we looked at spectrogram from a coyote. That's not what a coyote even remotely looks like. sounds like something mimicking a cat, and it sounds like a cat on steroids. Because I did look up the sounds that somebody said about the black bear. It still sounds like a bear, but I get what they mean about like meowing. This sounds like a house cat to me, but it sounds like a gigantic house cat, like going like the meows they'll do sometimes when they're like agitated or want attention. It's really weird. Just how loud that has to be. Another fake coyote. But then right in here you hear like a grunt or something. It's pretty low. See, there's a cow. Right here. There's that vibrato sound again. I don't know what the hell this is. But earlier when we caught it did that pow wow 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 wow. Wow. And then it goes into that weird like horse vibrato. There's a knock or a smack. Now, this one to me is more interesting almost than the one with the voice in it because it has this right. You hear that? It does this and then it's like the voice drops again. It's like it's tuning up the band right here and then it drops and it goes into it. Pretty sure there's owls coming up between one of them. Well, quote unquote owls, which Merlin says aren't birds. Another cow. Another fake coyote. Someone said it best on Reddit, like I said, that it almost sounds like an elk. It's really weird. There's something here too. You hear the crows back there? I know we're coming back up on. I know we're coming back up on another one. But this was all like the stuff I didn't have up in the other. In the videos I've done on this. See, there's. Oh. There's 3 knocks. Boom, boom, boom. I could have swore that there was... reason it's still playing is I could have swore there were owls coming up. I am skipping a little bit. It's almost like a, I don't know. I don't... some of this could just be animals. It just sounds like it's speech too. Like that's always a very real possibility. Because, you know, stuff gets low, you got background noise. Nope. Here, just skipping, trying to get past this. There's the owls. None of this is real owls. I ran it through Merlin. I think that was another vibrato. That's what I'm calling it. Yeah. I'm really not sure what's... I mean, I try to always look at stuff. There's a wood knock. Like it's going to be something normal, but I don't know how to explain those. Another quote-unquote owl. This is going to be the crazy one. This part still just blows my mind. And you can hear that too. That same voice. Ugh, ugh. Or who I'm calling the big guy now. Something here too. Makes me wonder if they're not doing coyote calls to try to wonder if they, because I'm looking at this like it's a real, obviously not just a real thing, but like I don't know if they would be, see, I don't know intelligence wise where they would be on this, on the scale, but I would assume that they would probably do coyote calls and things like that, mimic, so they can also fit in too, so to speak, and not be as noticeable around people. And I'm wondering if they weren't doing that as a way to locate each other, and that was like the big guy was like, hey, I don't know. I mean, that's all pure speculation. But it would make sense why there were so many that led up to that one. Where it's like a check-in. Nope, we gotta skip past this because that was about to get bad. I'm just looking to see if there's anything. Let's see if there's anything worth going over in the rest of it. Traffic. Probably some wood knocks. Something here. Another fake owl. Oh yeah, now these are wood knocks. That's the train. It's like miles away. I think that's it for this one. What I wanted to do was unit A, go here, here, and then we're going to open this up. Because this has some interesting stuff in it too. This is from the same time. I mean, obviously different night. And it's from like down the hill, so it's between the pond and it's between where that one was. So go here. Effect, do this again. Noise reduction, get noise profile. Effect, here, noise reduction, just hit OK. Save that for later, I'll come back to it. Notes. This is this one. I thought it was this one. Maybe, was it the one before it? One of them had something interesting in it. That one has huge wood knocks. We'll check both these out. And then I'll probably jump off of here. It's not very lively. Okay, so we won. 10:37. It says it starts out as a crow, turns into a goose, and along the way we hear something else. So we're gonna go. Where is it? 10, 18. So right in here. You see what I mean by like this first one? Sounds like a cow. But then it eventually like turns into a goose. 11:03. It says something in a male voice is vocalized. 11:03. Oh, so it was right after this. I guess that, I don't know about male voice, but okay, then we'll go. Actually, you know what? That's really all I wanted to go over, and I figured if anybody had any questions, I'd answer them, but nobody's got any questions, so